Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Ehsan, and in today's video we're going to solve another IELTS reading test. For a start, it's better to have this book in front of you, IELTS Cambridge book 11. We're going to solve reading passage 3 of test 1, and it's better to have a pencil and take notes while watching this video and turn off any distractors such as your cell phones. I'm gonna give you some tips and strategies to solve this kind of problems, and it is a good idea to have a smile on your face and feel relaxed, because this is the kind of things that gonna help you a lot, especially during your IELTS exam. But before we get started, if you're new here, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and also the notification bell, so whenever I upload a new video you'll be aware of it. So let's jump into it. On the left hand side you can see the passage of reading passage 3, and on the right hand side you can see the questions of this passage. So normally passage 3 are difficult ones, but this passage is not so much difficult if you know how to deal with it and know the strategies. Questions 27 till 29, it's some kind of a matching headings. Which paragraph contains the following information? So this is the difficult ones to start, so I'm not gonna start from here. But this one, questions 32 36, this one is easy ones. Complete the table below, choose just one word only from the passage, and you had to know where to look for these questions. So geoengineering projects, procedure and aim: put a large number of tiny spacecraft into orbit for far above Earth to create a, and this is the question. So after a we need a singular noun, and here we have Earth. So this is a good word for a scan to find and locate the answer. Just look through the passage, and you can for example doing this from right to left or from top to bottom, no problem with that, or you can look for it in zigzag ways. Just look for the Earth. This is not something that they can paraphrase it. Actually in one of Cambridge it says a planet like ours, so which means Earth. Maybe that's the only paraphrase they can use instead of Earth. So nothing in paragraph A. How about paragraph B? Can we see Earth? This is the kind of thing that you had to practice a lot. Just look for the word Earth. Here, this is Earth. So, and this is the first time that they mention Earth. Probably the answer is here. So again, to create a dash that would reduce the amount of light reaching Earth. I'm going to start at the beginning of this sentence, including Earth. His scheme would employ up to 16 trillion minute spacecraft. Minute means small and tiny. You see, this is not minute. It's not about the time. It's about how small it is. This is the freight spacecraft, and here it says tiny spacecraft. Minute spacecraft, it's a paraphrasing for tiny spacecraft. Each weighing about 1 gram to form a transparent sunlight refracting sunshade in an orbit 1.5 million kilometers above the Earth. So and the following sentence says that this could argues angle reduce the amount of light. You see here it says reduce the amount of light reaching the Earth by 2%. So this is for the following sentence, but to create a what that would reduce, here it says that to form a transparent sunlight refracting sunshade in an orbit. So this is a sunshade for question 30. You had to write down sunshade. For question 30. Question 31. So probably the answers and the questions and answers for this kind of complete the table are in the same order. This is the thing that you can focus on answering these kind of questions. So place what in the C? They can paraphrase C. They can paraphrase C. For example, they can use ocean. They can use something else like ocean. So the majority of geoengineering projects so far carried out, which include planting forests in deserts and depositioning iron in the what? In the ocean. And here it says place. Place, paraphrasing for place is depositing iron in the ocean. So the answer is iron. Easy paraphrasing again. To encourage what? To form. To stimulate. To stimulate means to encourage. Review the IELTS keyword table that I provided for you. These are really great example of paraphrasing. To stimulate the growth of algae. You don't know to know the meaning of algae, because here you can just know the paraphrasing around the blank. And if it's difficult for you to write it down in the spelling, you can just copy and paste in your real exam. But be careful, because if you had mistake in your spelling, you're gonna lose the whole mark of this question. So release aerosol sprays into the stratosphere to create what? That would reduce the amount of light reaching Earth. Maybe aerosol is a good word to look for this question. You see, sometimes you can use another sentence to find the answer. Just pick the easy ones to look for. Where is aerosol? Where is it? I cannot see it in here. But here, the concept of releasing aerosol. Here, this is it. So, to create what? This would involve using sulfur or hydrogen sulfide aerosol so that sulfur dioxide would form clouds, which would in turn lead to a global dimming. Global dimming means reducing. Here it says reduce the amount of light reaching Earth. So to create what? To create clouds. You can just copy and paste clouds. Question 34. Fix a strong what to Greenland ice sheets. Greenland is a good word to look for. Greenland, where is it? Greenland. Greenland. Here, this is Greenland. You see? This is it. Fix a strong. Scientists have also scrutinized whether it's possible to preserve the ice sheets of Greenland with reinforced, strong, high tension cables, reinforced high tension cables. Fix strong cables. Just use the paraphrasing technique and find the keywords in the passage. To fix strong cables, reinforced high tension cables. So for question 35, you can fight Russian Arctic. This is an easy one to look for. This is with capital letters. And where is it? This is Russian Arctic. The next sentence. This is it. So here it says to allow the dash to reflect radiation or radiation. Radiation is a great word to look for. Radiation. Just find the radiation and you can find the answer so easily. Here, this is radiation. So it's not, the answer must be here. To allow the what? Whereas the region's native evergreen pines shade the snow and absorb radiation, to reflect radiation. To allow the what to reflect radiation? To allow the snow. We need a singular noun after the. Snow. For question 36, change the direction of. Maybe they use paraphrase for this one, but this is an easy one to look for. Change the direction. Which shed their leaves in winter, thus enabling radiation to be reflected by the snow. Rerouting. This is means change the direction of Russian rivers to increase cold water flow to ice forming areas, to bring more cold water into ice forming areas. So change the direction of rivers. You need rivers here. Rerouting. They use rerouting for change the direction of. As you can see, these are all some easy questions to answer and to begin with. Now we're going to move on to question 37 to 40. So we had to find, for this type of question, we had to find the name of these scientists in the passage, list of scientists. Here are the list of scientists. And in this type of question, the questions and answers are not in the same order. First you look for these names, and then you look for something like, for example, the name of the scientist. For example, Roger Angel says, or maybe he argues something, or I don't know, according to what Angel says, something like this. Or you can look for inverted commas for what they say. These are the things that you have to look for. But first, let's just find where are these names. And these names are in capital letters. So where we can find these names? Nothing in paragraph A. Here, this is Angel. This is Angel. I'm gonna use another color for this question. So I had to look for Angel, Phil Rush, Dan Lund, Martin Sommerkorn. Just the capital letters, because these are the names. And where are they? Here again, Angel says. This is says. It's important to notice that. Phil Rush, another name. There are other names as well. Again, Rush. Dan Lund. Again, Lund says. So, and here in the last paragraph, Martin Sommerkorn. This is the last name. So, we have Angel in here and Angel in there. So maybe start with this ones. Here, this is something that Angel, it's just an introduction, who is this person, and after that it says that his scheme would employ up to 16. Actually, we already read that sentence, and it is not something that a statement that he says. But after this sentence, it says that this could, argues Angel, reduce the amount of light reaching the earth. In this is the kind of language that we can look for statements. But again, this is just some argues Angel. The reduced amount of light reaching the earth by 2%. By 2%. This is something that we can look for in the questions. The effects of geoenergy may not be long lasting. May not be long lasting. Maybe 2%. I don't know. But they didn't say anything about light reaching the earth. Geoengineering is a topic worth exploring. No, it may be necessary to limit the effectiveness of geoengineering projects. No, research into non-fossil based fuels cannot be replaced by geoengineering. No. So, it must be this place. Angel says that his plan is no substitute for developing renewable energy. The only permanent solution. The only permanent solution. So, this is the sentence. And here it says that research into non-fossil based fuels cannot be replaced. No substitute, cannot be replaced. This is a great paraphrasing by geoengineering. So for 40, I'm going to write A in my answer sheet. Be careful. A for this one, for 40. So, look into another ones. Rush. Rush here, it says this sentence, and after that, rush. We have rush, two statements for rush. Geoengineering plans to inject stratospheric aerosols or to seed clouds would act to cool the planet and act to increase the extent of sea ice. Geoengineering plans and and here I already had rush, so this is one sentence, one statement by rush, but here in the above we have this inverted comma, so be careful with that as well. Okay, I think all. So here I cannot see anything, any keywords to look for. Geoengineering plans to inject stratospheric or to see clouds would act to cool the planet and act to increase the extent of the sea. And after that, but all the models suggest some impact on the distribution of precipitation. No, nothing is there, nothing related to these keywords in these statements. But here I think all of us agree that if we were to end geoengineering on a given day, then the planet would return to its pre-engineered condition very rapidly, and probably within 10 to 20 years. That's certainly something to worry about. So here it says something about the effects of geoengineering may not be long lasting, which means it's very quick, very rapidly. So I'm quite happy with that this is my keywords in here. So the answer for question 37 is rush, and rush I had to write B for in my answer sheet. Now, how about Lunt? Lunt again had two statements, so remember that this is the passage 3. It's probably a difficult one to answer. A further risk with geoengineering projects is that you can overshoot, says Dr. Dan Lunt. So, geoengineering is a topic worth exploring. No, it may be necessary to limit the effectiveness of geoengineering projects. No, nothing is there. Lund says Angel's project this is not something that Angel says. It's not something that Lund says. Project would have to operate at half strength. Would have to operate at half strength. Necessary to limit. All of which reinforces his view that the best option is to avoid the need for geoengineering altogether. So, necessary to limit the effectiveness of geoengineering projects. This is a paraphrasing for this question. So, for 39 is Dan Lund, which is C. I'm going to write C in my answer sheet. Now, the last ones. Dr. Martin Summercorn. Here is the statement for this person. Human-induced climate change has brought humanity to a position where we shouldn't exclude thinking thoroughly. This is a great thing to notice in IELTS exam. They use double negative, so shouldn't exclude. Let me write it down for you. Shouldn't exclude, it means that should include. They use double negative to make you confused. Thinking thoroughly. Thoroughly means completely. So, and the last ones, geoengineering is a topic worth exploring. Exploring means thinking about, or worth exploring. This is a great expression to use it. For example, my cell phone is so expensive, but it's worth the price because I can do lots of things with that. It's a great to use it in your writing or your speaking as well. So this is D for the last ones. Now we have left with 3 questions, the most difficult ones to answer. Which paragraph contains the following information? You can apply some strategies for that. As you can see, we already use these paragraphs up until here. So probably the answers for these questions are in maybe paragraph A and at the beginning of B. But you had to look for it. It's not always the case. And remember that this is a passage 3. So always try to find the easy questions to answer at first. So this is a great idea to put this at the end. And now we can set some strategies. We can apply some strategies to make it even easier. So just read all of them. Mention of a geoengineering project based on an earlier natural phenomena. This is a great keyword to look for. An example of a successful use of geoengineering. An example of a successful use of geoengineering. Common definition of geoengineering. Definition. This is the easy ones. Definition. IELTS youth love to use definitions. For example, they define the new term. They coin the term something else, and they use sometimes dash or inverted commas to introduce a new term. And sometimes when they want to define a new idea, a new term, they're going to put it at the beginning of that passage. So probably we're going to look for it at the paragraph A. But where to look for? This is something that I told you. They're going to use dash to define a new term like geoengineering. So in this way, you can find it very easily. Alternative of geoengineering, a term which generally refers to the international large-scale manipulation of the environment. This is the answer for these ones. So for 29, you had to write paragraph A for the answer in your answer sheet. Now you have just left with 2 questions, 27 and 28. So maybe just just read the first sentences of each paragraph because your time is limited. Maybe that's a good ones to answer. So geoengineering has been shown to work, at least on a small localized scale. So has been shown to work, which means that has been shown to work, which means that this is successful. This is successful. You can say that it was successful because it has shown to work. It means successful. If you want to be perfect, you can go through this paragraph all by yourself and see there's an example of successful use of geoengineering. But just use these techniques and paragraph B for these ones. Now we have just left with 27, and what do we can apply for this question? It says that earlier natural phenomena. So for natural phenomena, they're going to use something like, I don't know, maybe a storm, maybe an earthquake, or I don't know, maybe rainbow. These are just some natural phenomena that you can look for in the passage, but this is a difficult ones to look for. It's not an easy ones to just find these. But as I already said that to you, you already use some paragraphs, so the probably it's not going to be there. These are just mentioning some statements by some scientists. So maybe before that I already used A and B, and maybe sometimes you're going to use A and B again, but maybe it's a good idea to go for C and D. Maybe we can find something there, I don't know. But this is a difficult ones to answer. This is probably for somebody who like to get 9 out of reading, and this is the hard ones actually. But where do we can find this? Where is it? Global, I already read that. Global dimming, I don't know. And here, historic volcanic explosion. This is the hard ones to look for actually. This is not an easy ones to answer, but this is the answer. Volcanic, they use volcano or volcanic for natural phenomena, and for earlier they use historic for earlier. So paragraph D is the right answer for this question. I'm gonna have to write D for these ones, and these are just some paraphrasing for natural phenomena that I could be noticed that before I'm looking for the right answer. So DBA for 27, 28 and 29 respectively. Okay guys, I hope you liked that this video, and if you had any questions, let me know in the comment section. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.